Can I just fill you in a bit about the details of the school itself? Many people, when we say, oh, we're from Ruthven Primary School, they say, where's Ruthven? Ruthven is in the northern corridor of Reservoir. If you know where Edwards Lake is, it's about 1 kilometre from there northwards. Okay, so we can walk there and use the athletic track and that, so we're very close to Edwards Lake. The demographics of the school is very multicultural. We have 15 different nationalities represented on any one day, and that's like many of the schools in this area. And a lot of them are refugees, or they've been over in Australia for less than 12 months or thereabouts. Our current student population is 136 students with a very high SFO. Many of the students who come to school without the experiences that we take for granted. They don't have the experiences from home, or if they're new preppies enrolled, a lot of them haven't been to kindergarten, so they come with the lacking of the prior knowledge that there is the expectation of what the kids need before they start school. We are currently involved in the regeneration project with Marylands and Lakeside, and potentially next year Marylands primary component and the Ruthven primary component will be merging together, and we've received funding from the federal government to build a new school. So we are also working very closely with the Marylands staff on developing a culture and developing a educational pedagogy that will fit across both schools, so that when we move into the one school, the one primary school component, it's all seamless. Okay, now we've been involved in the AiZ, like all you guys, since the beginning of last year, where we've been looking at the numeracy side of things, the literacy, the classroom management, along with the assessment of data with Patrick Griffin, and a lot of it has been very beneficial. But I just want to give you a bit of a history of where we're at and where we've come to. In 2008, and semester one, Ruthven underwent a school review. Through the school review process, a number of opportunities were identified for improvement in the areas of literacy and numeracy. The numeracy performance data over the previous 3 years was well below those of SFO schools, and it was identified that in the preceding years the school had trialled a number of numeracy programs but hadn't really taken any particular numeracy program on board. They were taking a hotchpotch approach where they were taking bits and pieces out of different programs but not really focusing on a particular program across the school, and it was done on a very ad hoc manner, and there's no real direction in what was happening at the school. Now, through the development of the school strategic plan and the subsequent annual implementation plans, numeracy has become a major focus. The staff identified, and we had lots of discussions and many robust discussions about where we should be heading, what we should be doing, and it was decided that yes, we need to place a higher focus on the numeracy side of things, and we also need to be starting to challenge not just the students about what their expectations should be, but also the staff. I think there was an element of mediocrity. Mediocrity was good enough at the school. Well, that's no longer part of the culture of the school. Everyone is challenged. The staff are challenged, the students are challenged, and the parents are challenged. So we are now setting high expectations for our students, and we're setting high expectations for the staff as well. So hopefully, once we do the next strategic plan, the results will come through. Within our 2000 annual implementation plan, we gave numeracy, as I said, a higher priority, where we set aspirational milestones, those that are above our SFO NAPLAN data suggests. We're aiming to raise it 1 or 2 points above that, so that it is aspirational, something that we can achieve. Now I'm going to hand over to Kent, who's our AiZ leader for Ruthven Primary School. Kent? Do you want to leave those there?
No. Just got to try and remember how to press these buttons. Okay, I'm just going to go through the journey that we've completed so far, and it'll be ongoing next year and the year after. As Peter mentioned at the start, 2 of our teachers at our school attended all these sessions in 2008, and over that 2008 we've gone back to the staff after those sessions, and we've decided on selecting the guiding principles, and one was, the most important one we thought was having the goal for the lessons and numeracy up on the board so that the children could see them as well and they'd actually know what they're going to be learning. We tried to work, and as Peter always spoke about, having children work above their level. We found that a difficult thing to start with, but we're using the VELS progression points, and we're trying to aim just that little bit higher, both for the top end and the bottom end. And once again, we're communicating those high expectations. We ask the children to impress us with their work and also to achieve high results. We also used and explored the Japanese lesson plan. We followed some of the parts, and we tried to link those lessons where possible with everyday life situations. And in our planning days, we planned together, looked at our teaching, we observed others teaching as well, and also we reflected on our teaching and also revised what we were actually teaching with the grades from 3 to 6 and also P to 2. We've been using Mathletics and other computer-based programs to try and keep the children more engaged as well, and those who do finish can be extended by going on with Mathletics or I think it's Maths 300 and targeting maths that we've got at our school. We've also used the data to inform our teaching. In 2000, we used a 2007 AIM data to look at what the children needed to learn, and also the NAPLAN data in 2008, we used that as well. And the on-demand testing at the start of the year, unfortunately I wasn't there when they did all that, but we used, one of the teachers at school went through the data and collected the data that what the children knew and what they needed to know or couldn't do, and we used that as a basis of our reporting. We also began to explore the use of open-ended maths tasks to engage all the students. Just one little thing I had, we were doing some work with on number. We had some number grids on centimetre squares, and they had to use highlighters to, I think it was to highlight prime numbers and all sorts of things. And one of the kids was, and most children finished, one child was still colouring in about two numbers with a highlighter. Instead of using the flat bit and just going like this, Anyway, at the end of the lesson, they all have to do a reflection. And kids said, I learned about prime numbers, I learned lots of different things, and I read through about 4, and I got to one, and it just said, I learned how to use a highlighter. So anyway, I thought, well, at least we've taught them something. Okay, the next one. Through the AiZ, the teaching of maths is placed on every teacher's agenda, as Alan mentioned before. The leadership team has set regular numeracy PD sessions for all staff to attend, and these are run by Loretta. All the information given to us by Peter and Sue has been run off, and even the PowerPoint presentations have been put onto our network, and each staff member has an individual folder, and they've had that, not only staff members, but the, is it the ES staff now you call them? I'm not too sure. But everyone who is involved with the children at the school should be up to date with what we're doing. We discuss our numeracy and fortnightly area meetings and our APT time, what's working well, what we need, what resources we need, and just sort of planning just ahead. And also we've used individual learning plans for selected students from P to 6, and I think Loretta's going to talk about that later on, I think. Where are we? I should be pressing this button. Yeah, and when was it? No, that's one above. All staff attended a PD activity held in January, Peter Sullivan at Reservoir District Secondary College. And just briefly, the topics discussed in that morning were improving teaching, learning, student motivation, group work and teacher learning. And throughout this year, we've been back at school looking at our questioning techniques, which is very important, our behaviour management, which is linked with the Ramon Lewis, and strategies for learning, and just ways to engage all the learners at our school.